BBC Radio Lancashire.
The news headlines, I'm David Bailey. A deal to transform central Lancashire's been signed at Downing Street in the presence of the Prime Minister. There'll be £1 billion of government money over 10 years for new houses, roads and to create thousands of new jobs.
Now, today, the Prime Minister has been speaking to us at BBC Radio Lancashire. I've been asking him about the city deal, of course, that was agreed for Preston today. But I also took the opportunity to ask him about another major business issue here in Lancashire, which is, of course, fracking. I asked David Cameron if he was concerned that while business might benefit from the process, for residents of Lancashire, it could be a completely different story.
I don't believe that's the case. I had a meeting with the Lancashire Conservative MPs recently to discuss this issue. Now, of course, there are concerns, and all those concerns need to be met about the environmental impact and traffic impact. But what we're talking about here is an industry that could bring 70,000 jobs to our country, and perhaps many of them in the northwest of our country. We're talking about an industry that can enable us potentially to have cheaper gas bills, cheaper energy bills, which is a major concern for people. And I think it could help drive some industrial regeneration, because of course fracking isn't simply about the fracking pads that you had established to extract the gas from the ground. There'd be a whole component supply industry. If you look at what North Sea Oil has done to parts of Scotland and indeed parts of northeast England, it's been hugely successful at driving a whole new business, a whole new industry. Now, the other thing to consider is the massive amounts of money that we're prepared to see local people and local authorities get. You know, £100,000 for even before a well has started to be dug.
But you mentioned that
potentially, hang on, one last point. Potentially, you know, £10 million to the local community once a well is up and running and successful. So let's have a rational debate about this. Personally, I'm very keen on this industry. I think it can keep our prices down, give us a great new business, and give a big boost to local areas.
But the figures you put out and the employment and the jobs, it's great to look forward to that. But what about reality? Are those jobs going to be real?
Well, I think they will be real. I mean, look at the supply industry to the North Sea Oil. We have now massive expertise in construction, in rig building, in piping, in servicing. Expertise that isn't now just, you know, serving the North Sea. It's actually serving oil fields in Malaysia, off the coast of Brazil, off the coast of Mexico. We've got the chance to be part of a new industry and to bring British engineering and expertise and talent to that industry.
The big sell on this has been right the way through. Our bills will be cheaper, our energy will be cheaper due to fracking. Can you guarantee that?
Well, there's no guarantee about anything in this life, but, you know, look at America. Look, they now have gas bills that are effectively less than half of the bills that we pay in our country. Now, that's obviously good for households if that happens, but there's also another spin-off, which is if we want manufacturing, if we want aerospace, if we want heavy industry to be part of our industrial success story, and I do, then we've got to make sure they're not paying high energy bills. Now, you know, America is seeing car companies and others starting to relocate back to America because of low energy prices, and I want some of that to happen here in the UK too.
And one of the places it could happen, of course, is the Blackpool area, which needs the jobs, which needs the money. Is it going to happen there?
Well, there's a good chance that that it could. It all depends, obviously, on where the reserves are and how they can be accessed. But I know that the Blackpool Member of Parliament, Paul Maynard, I was speaking to, said there's a chance for Blackpool to be quite a hub for expertise in the industry. You know, I don't want to overstate things, but Aberdeen has been transformed as the hub for North Sea oil industry. And obviously, you know, Blackpool, a town I know and love for all the political connotations it has for me, it does need economic regeneration, and fracking could be part of that.
You sold fracking very well, Prime Minister. What if it was in Oxfordshire and near your home? Would you be happy with that for cheaper bills?
Yes, I would be happy that if, you know, if there are shale deposits in Oxfordshire, I hope that they can be examined. As I said, you do need safeguards, environmental safeguards, a proper licensing system. I think local communities do need to be compensated, not least for the lorries that will trundle up and down the roads. But I think if you say to a local community, you know, £100,000 as soon as the well is sunk, and then potentially up to £10 million if the well is successful, you know, that I think will involve local people more in the sense that this is an industry that they own and benefit from.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us on BBC Radio Lancashire.
Thank you very much.